today to speak truth to power. And we will have a series of issues we're going to talk about today that will be hopeful to you in this period of time where we're in the primary election process. I'm Joyce Elliott, Executive Director of Get Loud Arkansas.
I'm Kristen Foster, I'm the Deputy Director.
And I'm Richard Walton, I am Civic Engagement Coordinator.
Well, he's working so hard sometimes he just can't remember who he is. And we like that. We're all here for it, Rich. Yeah.
Look, we're in the deep of election season, man. My brain is tired. Like, I know yours is too.
Yeah, we are in the middle of it.
We have been busy. Okay, what are we talking about today first, Kristen?
Lots of things to talk about. We're going to talk a lot about what's going on with the election right now. We're going to talk about voter ID rules and what to expect when you go in to vote. Then we're going to talk about some, just kind of trending stuff that's going on. And finish it up with a really exciting movie screening that's coming to
All right. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about voter ID. Because you need to remember when you go to the polls to vote, you will have to have generally a photo ID, but there are some other options as well. But you need to know this to make sure you have the proper ID, because you may get what they call a provisional ballot, but that's something that's set aside for you later on in case you can prove you're who you said you are. But what we're going to talk about right now, the nuts and bolts of what you need for an ID.
Yeah, if you don't have a regular state issued ID or a university ID or something else that's accepted, you can go to your county clerk and just get a free ID for the purpose of voting, right? And so there's several documents you have to have if you want to do that. You go to the county clerk's office, they'll be fill out a form, sign your name, attest to who you are, but then you also have to have some type of proof of your identity. So that could be something like your birth certificate, a marriage license, it could be a school record. If you're in school, it could be your transcript from school. And then you have to have a second form of ID. That one has to include your full legal name and your date of birth, right? Second form of ID has to contain your name and your residential address. So that can be something like a utility bill, cable bill, a pay stub. It could be your homeowner's insurance policy, property tax bill, auto registration, all kinds of things like that just might have your information.
Well, we register a lot of high school students and a lot of college students, and I don't think some of those kids are going to have bills yet like that. So what would we want to do if I'm a college student, right, and I don't have bills like that? What should I do?
Yeah, when I was in high school, there weren't any utility bills in my name, right? Or in college. So I don't know, Joyce, what do you recommend for people?
But what I think they should do, they need to call their county clerks. That would be the best thing to do. In every county, there is somebody who's called the county clerk, and they have all the information that you need. And so to keep from making a mistake and to save yourself time, call your county clerk and ask them what you need to get an ID. And what you need also when you get ready to go vote. They are there to serve you, so don't be shy about it.
Yeah.
You have to be, in this situation, you need to be your own best, what somebody says, your own best executive director.
Yes, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be your own advocate and go out there. Don't be afraid to ask questions. The county clerks, in my experience, are very nice. They're there to help. They're elected officials too. They want to serve their community. That's why they're in that position most of the time. And so, reach out, just ask them questions. They're there for it. And if you need other assistance, you can always reach out to Get Loud Arkansas or visit our website, getloudarkansas.org, for more information. So one of the other things that you experience if you go in to vote right now in one of the primary or judicial elections is you walk in and they'll go, they'll ask for your name, your address, your ID, you're going to verify who you are, and then they'll say, which ballot do you want? Well, I don't know. I want the ballot I vote on. I don't know what does that even mean? I want the ballot I vote on. So we want to prepare you for that. So let's talk about what that means when they say, which ballot do you want? What are your choices?
Probably everybody knows about, because even when you register, it asks you about a party. There's a Democratic Party, and then there's the Republican Party, and then there's something called independents. So if you want to vote for in the Democratic primary, you say, I want a Democratic ballot. If it's Republican, you just simply say that, or if it's independent. Now, on that ballot, there will be the judges' races as well as everything else. And you need to be sure you go fully down the ballot to see everything that you need to see. You're going to see starting out with the president and go on from there. And you need to, and just in case you're looking for somebody not finding them, when you find the person you want to vote for, say you're in the presidential lane, when you find the person you want to vote for, then you just check it and move on. But if you don't find it and you've been through 10 names, go on to 11, 12, 13, and 14, and whatever it is, because many times it's buried down the list, whatever you're looking for. And do the same thing with the judges. You're not going to see them right away, but you will find them on that ballot. But the best thing to do, don't you think, is for them to look at their ballot to start with,
Yeah.
before they go, so that you can be prepared. You're making a plan for voting. So you need to go to voterview.ar, and you will find a way to put in your information. And if you keep scrolling down, at the very bottom, you'll find something that will help you find your ballot, so you will know what it looks like before you go.
Yeah, and it'll say, it'll have all the options: a Democrat ballot, a Republican ballot, and a nonpartisan ballot.
Yes.
And like you said, the judicial races are on all of those. Now, if you do select a nonpartisan ballot, it's not going to have any of the Democrat or Republican primaries. It will only have the judge races. So it's not like there's independent races that'll be on that right now. And also in Arkansas, you don't have to be registered with a specific party. You can pick whichever ballot you feel is appropriate, whichever one you want to vote on. It doesn't have to be related to what you registered as far as your party, or if you registered as independent, pick whichever one you want.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting though, thinking about sample ballots, right? So
Yeah.
this last week, I have seen so many people talking about Love is Blind. Have you seen this show? So Love is Blind is like where people go and like people meet, but there's like a screen between them so they don't see each other and they just get to know each other. And there's been all this drama because one of the women on there said that she looks like Megan Fox, who is very beautiful, and some people kind of have clapped back and said they didn't think that was fair. She shouldn't have compared herself. Anyways, it really got me thinking though, like, wouldn't this be a cool way to like deal with our politics? Like, if you went in to vote and you just got to look at like their qualifications and their policy stances, and that's it. Like, and you really judged on that, and then you don't find out about like what party they're affiliated with, or what they look like, or what crazy stuff they've said on Twitter, or like anything like that. It's all just based on the qualifications and their actual policy stances, which I feel like so often candidates just avoid even talking about specifics of policy. So I'm feeling like Love is Blind, but for politics.
Yeah, because Rich, I know you would love for everybody to look at you and think, "Ooh, I like him just because of the way he looks."
Vote for me.
Yeah, vote for me. Don't I look like somebody you need to vote for? But we are appealing to you to pay attention to what was said here, because there's something to be said that you may be drawn to a person because of the way they look. But remember, this is about elections. I don't think you're trying to fall in love out there. Hope not.
The good thing is if you vote for him, it is just you get to vote again in a couple of years.
That's right.
You don't have to marry him,
But make sure you find out about what are their stances, and what do they believe, and listen carefully to what they say, or read something, prepare yourself to go vote. And if I'm running for office, for example, and I'll use Krista, because this makes me uncomfortable for myself. I say Krista is running for office, and you look at her and go, "Oh my God, she's the most beautiful person. I love her." Well, love her is good, but love her should have something to do with the policies that she's asserting out there as well. Yeah. And it's easy. It's easy to get hung up on when you're attracted to somebody like that.
But that's what I like about what we do, where we encourage people to go out and find their sample ballot, because you can kind of take a minute before you go into the polls, look up those policy stances, see what you can find out about somebody, and be prepared and make your decision like from a really informed basis. You don't have to go in there and just like wing it based on what they look like, or like who you met in the parking lot. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times the candidates are hanging out outside trying to catch you right before you go in, and so it doesn't have to be a last minute decision. You can get prepared and really like spend some time hearing if they believe that everybody looks like Megan Fox.
Talking to other people, and talking with other people, asking questions and all that. That's really a part of your preparation to go to the polls and vote, because we want you to make the best decision for you in this case.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
there, Megan Fox.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, don't take the Megan Fox syndrome with you to the polls.
Yeah. So we have some other, we have an exciting event coming up soon we want to talk about before we wrap this up today. There is a movie screening coming up Monday. Do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, there is. There's a movie screening coming up. It's called Rustin, Rustin. It's about Bayard Rustin. He's the person who worked with Dr. King and several others to put together the March on Washington in 1963. Actually, he was the brains behind getting that whole thing done. And this was at a time we didn't have social media. They just had newspapers and telephones, basically, is what they had to get this done. But Bayard Rustin was so much more than he's ever been getting credit for. And there's been a movie about him recently where the guy that played, what was his name? Coleman Domingo. God. But he won an Oscar for portraying Bayard Rustin. But he's important to us in this time period because 1963 was about a lot of things, but one of the main things it was about was voting and equal rights. And this was a man who was so instrumental into so much of what we have now as civil rights. It really would be a great idea for you to come. It's free. It's not anything you have to do except register and just show up. And you need to register ahead of time. That would be great. But we really want you to come and bring other people because this is a man who's not gotten his due. And when we talk about here in Black History Month, we need to know our history. Well, this is history and we need to know about it. We'd love to see you there. Afterward, there's going to be a panel discussion. I am going to be the panelist from the Get Loud group. We are helping to sponsor this event and I'm looking forward to it. More than anything, though, I'm looking forward to seeing your face.
Yep, come hang out.
Your
Watch
face.
Yeah.
And when can we catch that? That is when?
Yeah, that is coming up on Monday, February 26th at 6:30 at the Ron Robinson Theater in Little Rock, part of the Central Arkansas Library System. It is going to be a great time. You can come watch the movie with me and Richard and Joyce, and then
check it out.
Hear Joyce talk about it afterwards. I think it's going to be really a fun time.
Yeah, and if there's nothing else, I think that's all we have for you today, but I just wanted to encourage you, things you learn from us and from others about helping people get to the polls or do whatever they need to do to be prepared. The information you have, please feel a responsibility to share it with others because that's how we move the needle for whatever we're doing. It's not just about me. I am sharing information with others so we can do what we have to do for this world, y'all.
And we're sharing because we want you to get out there and exercise your right to vote.
And what's the election day, primary election day is?
Yeah, March 5th is the last day to vote. Right leading up to that, polls are open for early voting. Last day to vote is March 5th. Polls will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. statewide. Make sure to get out and make your voice heard.
After all these years, I still get tingly about voting. Okay, go get your tingle on. Bye-bye.